on 2020, February 1st, 2008. A wild night of drugs, sex, and murder that's left one girl dead and the girl next door in prison. But is Amanda Knox just a suspect or something more?
Either a girl who's been wrongly accused, or she's a girl who's malicious, venomous, calculating, and a murderer.
Elizabeth Vargas in Italy with all new details from the crime scene.
And the apartment was rearranged. The evidence was moved.
An eerie whodunit with a story that keeps changing. A love affair with an Italian student. Did a three-way sex game go wrong? Racy internet pictures.
One shot, Amanda.
And parents struggling to make sense of a girl the papers say could be a cold-blooded killer.
She has never heard of it.
Are there two Amandas? Murder in Italy.
Joe Tacopina is a veteran defense attorney and former prosecutor.
That becomes, aha, we found the link. These three were involved. Okay.
They were planning on meeting later.
Lumumba came over.
Amanda and Raffaele originally told police they were together at Raffaele's the whole night. But on November 5th, the two returned to police headquarters, and in separate follow-up interviews, their stories begin to change.
Overwhelmingly powerful evidence.
Both girls' DNA also shows up in blood found in one of the bathrooms at the crime scene.
Not just her DNA, but a mix of Amanda and Meredith's DNA and blood in 3 different locations in the bathroom.
And investigators find a bloody shoe print in Meredith's bedroom that appears to match Raffaele's sneaker.
You know, when you start adding those things up, it looks like a pretty good case against the two of them.
The working police theory of the crime puts Amanda at the center of a scene etched in sex and violence.
The prosecution argued that was a sex game gone wrong, and Patrick Lumumba was involved, and Amanda and Raffaele, and they all took turns holding her down while they violated her sexually.
The horrific murder of Meredith Kircher was the first in memory in the picturesque town of Perugia. Investigators said the 21-year-old British student was sexually assaulted and her throat slashed, and there was more.
There were bruises on her body, on the low portion of her legs and inside her mouth.
What does that indicate?
It indicates a violent struggle.
Could young American student Amanda Knox have taken part in such a brutal crime? And how strong is the case for her defense?
You could be actually...
To help unravel the mystery, 2020 brought defense attorney and former prosecutor Joe Tacopina to Perugia. Tacopina has a law practice in Italy.
Tacopina Seigel.
He helped us gain access to Italy's top crime lab and the case files of the defense and the prosecution. From the earliest days of the investigation, Perugia's police chief believed he had 3 killers behind bars. 20-year-old Amanda, her Italian boyfriend Raffaele Sollecito, and Amanda's boss, Patrick Lumumba, to whom she'd sent an ambiguous text message the night of the murder saying, "See you later."
It turns out to be almost certainly not the murder weapon.
How do you know that?
We saw reports that indicate that while the DNA on or near the handle is Amanda Knox's, her DNA was on other knives in that apartment. She cooked in there.
But what about Meredith's DNA on that blade? The defense says it's not blood, but trace elements of DNA and something else.
There's only a 20% chance that that's Meredith's DNA. They're not ruling out that it's
only
Meredith.
a 20% match.
20% match. And to me, that says one thing about this knife. That's not the murder weapon. Because if you use that knife as a murder weapon, and as bloody as that crime scene was, you're not going to be able to clean off all the blood, yet leave some other DNA.
As for Amanda's DNA in the bathroom, well, remember when she came home the morning after the murder, she says she took a shower. The defense now says it has pictures of her wet footprints in the bathroom, which could help prove how her DNA could have become mixed up with Meredith's.
She gets out of the shower, is dripping wet obviously, and stands on this rug in front of the sink. Meredith's blood speck is on that rug. When Amanda steps on it with her wet feet, she's going to activate that blood and going to make it transferable.
So that would explain why the 3 blood drops have both girls' DNA?
That's an absolutely plausible scientific explanation, and And that happens to be Amanda Knox's story.
Raffaele is now sticking with his original story as well, that he and Amanda stayed at his house that night. The prosecution says that a bloody shoe print near Meredith's body is his. But Raffaele's lawyer told us he has pictures that will prove the print doesn't match Raffaele's shoe. And 2020 has uncovered what Amanda's attorney in Perugia says could end up being a slam dunk for the defense.
The defense attorneys showed me photos of the initial crime scene on the date they first took those photos. They came back 2 weeks later to take additional photos, and the apartment was rearranged. The evidence was moved. The bed that Meredith was on was leaning up against the wall. Clothes of Meredith and Amanda that was in Meredith's closet was on the bed where they were looking for evidence. For a crime scene to be worth anything forensically, it has to be pure. And it can't be trampled on, it can't be moved.
A tainted crime scene means the evidence could be thrown out of court. That still leaves Amanda's own words, the fact that she changed her original story during the intense overnight interrogation. But why would she do that?
Amanda was terrified. Amanda was saying that they told her that was her fault that Meredith died, her friend. They were just treating her awful and saying, "You're going to go to jail, you're going to go to jail." I mean, after a certain amount of time, the mind just cracks.
After they had introduced Patrick Lumumba's name into this interrogation and were insisting that he was involved, I think what she thought was, these guys are not going to ever let me out of here unless I say something. So she didn't say I witnessed Patrick Lumumba commit the crime. She didn't say I was at the crime scene. She said I had a vision.
A vision. She was at the house, heard screams, and covered her ears.
There are a lot of people who say, you know what, I don't care how much you browbeat me. I'm not going to confess to a crime I didn't commit.
Right.
Why would Amanda say she was there that night if she wasn't?
False confessions, Elizabeth, are a very real, very true phenomena. People who are not put in that position can't really understand it.
That's our report tonight from Perugia, Italy. I'm Elizabeth Vargas. For 2020 and all of us at ABC News, good night.
Something like this has never happened before. This Tuesday, history will be made live. One night only. Super Tuesday. Showdown coast to coast. Who will rise? Who will fall? It all comes down to this one night. And who will Americans turn to for answers?
Charlie,
Diane, George.
Nobody breaks it down better. From ABC News with Facebook. Super Tuesday. Showdown coast to coast. An all-night ABC event starting at 8/7 Central. And go to abcnews.com for live streaming video and minute-to-minute vote results.
ABC, your NBA Sunday destination. Conference powers Dallas and Detroit square off in the game of the week. Right down the lane. NBA Sunday. Coverage begins at 2 Eastern on ABC.